Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and welcome back to Zwift. This is the third episode that's getting started, close to the very first week that I've been here on Zwift. Really still getting the hang of things, but the last ride was absolutely much better than the first in a couple of ways. One, I was riding a lot more smoothly, a lot quicker, I felt better about it. I was hanging in there with some of the riders, where the first time, literally none of the riders, I was completely outmatched with everyone. And this time around, riding in France, and I feel like I can do more than before. You can see that I've already found a group at a similar pace to kind of where I want to be at. And that was just something I was not getting quite literally at all in the first ride, and just a little bit of in the second ride. Now I'm on the flat now, so I have no idea. And actually the one that I was behind there is already gone. I've got somebody in my tow, my slipstream, but maybe we can take turns and find another pack here, because I did have somebody there, at least for a moment, who I was able to ride with. So as I continue on and just cruise around for now, I will start doing actual rides. Looks like I'm missing a sprint here. That's okay. No one actually of the current set is actually pushing for this sprint in any way, but making progress in more ways than one. One way that I've already noticed, my weigh in today, about 2 pounds below my highest, about 1.5 pounds below anything that I've been at of late. So is that an actual 1.5 pounds that I've lost? Is it water weight? Is it, just timing? I don't know. But it's certainly a sign, because not only is it 1.5 pounds off, but some of the other data is also down a little bit in a good way, including dropping below that 25% threshold on the body fat, which is that break point between having overweight and actually being obese, meaning I'm now back into the upper limits of just simply overweight instead of something a little more less desirable for me. So that's a good sign. It's something, and that's something to be proud of. Now, on to what we're up to today. Two things. One, I'm trialing another format for a presentation. You can see I'm back on the bike for this now, but I will also be using some just on-cam / voiceover for a good chunk of the episode. So this is going to be a mixture of the presentation style of the first 2 episodes. And I think there's a good chance that this is the one that will hold. This is the one that will stick. Next week, I'll go ahead and run a poll for these 3 styles. And with that part out of the way, today's theme, today's topic is more about the end game. I laid out what my goals are in the first one, but what does that actually mean? What does that actually amount to? How do I measure that? Well, there's the obvious bit. I want to lose some weight. And like I said, there's already a small amount of excitement in that I've actually lost a little bit, and it's the first time that I've gone that direction at all in a while. I'm always steady or slowly going up. But I have some specific measurements that I have of where I'm at physically right now. I have some measurements of where I'm at with my diet, my sleep patterns, my stress level, things that actually do impact your physical body. And then there's the app itself, Zwift. And like I said, among the goals, I want to master the app that is Zwift. So what I'm going to get into today, and the exact details of it are going to show up in the voiceover portion here in a few minutes, but I'm going to break it down. I'm going to break down exactly what my numbers are right now as a baseline, what I've started with, and what my goals are, what my target is on the fitness portion of this. I know there's got to be some sort of shortcut to use that bonus that I've picked up. I don't know what the shortcut is. I need to learn what the shortcuts are. Actually, I printed them off. I just don't have it handy. I need to learn those, and I need to get a number pad or something that I can keep up here with me to use. It'd be handy. I know there are some useful elements, useful pieces. Next episode is going to be a focus on equipment. There has been questions about that. We'll get to that momentarily. Next episode, that moment. But like I said, let's go ahead and dive into what it is I'm doing, what I'm up to, and why. Grab some water first. One more. Okay, first thing is a little bit about my personality type. Long-time viewers probably know this about me or have figured this about me by now. But let's go ahead and push through and take a turn. I am somebody who's a stickler for detail. Very, very detail-oriented. And I love the fact that I'm actually faster than some people out here. It's amazing. And I found myself a little mini group, 3 of us, rolling along. And my wife's best friend's just pulling up outside. I'm gonna say hello. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Saturday for you. Anyway, very detail-oriented. Now, the origin of that is a simple story. It's a quick, easy, brief. I served in the Army, mentioned last episode, and I was a scout. Very high up there in terms of what is considered elite in the U.S. military. And I learned a very important lesson in basic training. So first off, in basic, I was first squad leader from the end of the first week when it was first assigned up until graduation date, all the way through. The only position higher was platoon leader, and the platoon leader was also the same person from that same date till the end of basic, which 17 weeks, 16 and a half technically. And that individual, great guy, son of a colonel, a very high-ranking father in the military. I did not have that sort of familial lineage. So I was happy with first squad leader, but that came with a lot of extra responsibility. And one of the key stories about the military, the kind of what you're trained, especially in a scout regiment, what you're trained is that when you make a mistake, sure, it could be costly for you, but when you make a mistake, the most likely person who is impacted, as my has grown a bit more, the most likely person to be impacted is the person next to you, or the person next to them, or next to them. It's the others that feel it, not you. It's the others that die so often, and not you. Movies often tell us that similar story of why me, why not him, that kind of thing. Oh, why did I survive? He didn't, he went home in a body bag, so on and so forth. Well, so the chief lesson they're always trying, lost my, I did not lose the other one. This one's still here. Anyway, he's starting to ride away a little bit. When you're taught this lesson, is every time somebody makes a mistake, the group is the one to pay for it. And often that payment comes in this form. There are so many others. Push-ups. That was the favorite. That's one reason why it was so good. Also, when somebody in my squad made a mistake, occasionally I was the one and the only one to be punished, or the individual and myself on occasion, but I received lots and lots of extra punishment. And like I said, pushing it out was the chief way that process played out. And doing so, we were taught a phrase: attention to detail, teamwork is key. Attention to detail, teamwork is key. Ever since, attention to detail, along with the other, all 7 of the core Army values, which make up the 8th, which is an acronym: leadership, loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, personal courage, being the 7 base. But anyway, attention to detail, something that has been ingrained in me for a very, very, very long time, and it's always stuck with me. And it's just something I do. Also, I'm a bit of a numbers guy, and so when we start pulling that all together, what ends up happening is I have these crazy detailed plans that I implement from time to time. I started the channel with one of these said plans, and every series that I do bears the fruit of those plans. Now, I'm a large channel. I do my thing. For some people, it's not for others. That's fine. I'm doing my thing. Well, anyway, this series, well, I have a very detailed plan. Like I said, detail-oriented kind of guy. So, without further ado, I am going to keep riding and suffering, and that suffering is just starting to really kick off. Heart rate's 160, that little climb there. I did some damage. I lost my group a little bit. I'd love to catch back up to them if I can. Rose was the one I was with for quite a while there, and I'm only about 8 seconds behind. So, or if that is cumulative, maybe it's only 3 seconds. Either way, I'll probably cover that ground. But this is where you continue to see me, but the voiceover kicks in, and occasionally popping up some graphics laying out those details aforementioned. So, yeah.
Alright, so here is my data-driven scoring system that I'm using for this. I've broken things down into 11 categories. 3 primary categories with 3 to 4 subcategories in each of those. So first up is straight health. This is kind of the big one. And fortunately, I have an easy way to measure all 4 of these simultaneously. So I use Our Belief. It's a advanced smart scale weight loss. My base 180. I've been weighing in repeatedly for 3 weeks, not every single day, but I've checked in different times of day. I've been 178, 178, 178, 178. I've hit 179.0 was the highest. I've hit 178.8, but I've been between a 178.2 and that 179 for every single weigh-in until today. Until I hit today with a 177.4. Pretty good drop. Definitely significant. First in 10 weigh-ins that's been a pound to a pound and a half lighter than all of the others. So technically the base is a 179, but I'm using a round number, 180. My target, 50. Let's knock off 50 pounds. So 130. Now, my size, my age, I could push into the 120s. It's certainly possible, but 130 is a very healthy weight. In fact, 135 might even be a little healthier in the not too skinny, but 130 is a good weight, so it's a round number. That's the target. BMI, body mass index. My base for this one, 29. In fact, it was about a 29.2. And that's been very, very consistent within a tenth. 29.1, 29.2, over and over and over again. I had a single 29.0 measurement. Today, 28.8. So I've actually lost a couple of tenths already. Target there is a 21. That is a healthy level. That is somebody who is athletic, but not a professional athlete. Okay, body fat, 25.3. Now this was the only one of all these measurements that said you are obese. The rest all said overweight. Body fat, 25 and above is where you hit obese. My base was 25.3. I had a 25.2 or 25.3 in every single measurement. Today, 24.9. 2 soccer games last weekend, 3 times on Zwift, and I'm already seeing a small hint of something happening positively. So we'll see if it's a fluke. It's one measurement, but like I said, all of the measurements were very consistent. So that's a small drop. Target there, 13. You get down to 13. You can get, in the last one of those measurements, the one I know a little less about is Visceral Fat. I am at an 11. That one does not round off into tenths, and I've been at 11 every single measurement, and I'm still there right now. My target for that is 5. I'll try to bring that down by 6. Now, in terms of points, that breaks down to a little bit over a third of all the points. Like I said, there's 3 categories, and that health category, well, that's the biggest one. That's the most easily measurable. Right now, those small gains for me, scoring-wise, I'm doing weight loss, 2 points. Remember, 1,000 points for the gaming decathlon. 2 points for each pound loss. 10 points for each full BMI point, body fat point, and visceral fat point. So that can break down into tenths on 2 of those. And so combined right now I have 12 points. It's very small, but it's a start. It's a start, and it's not 0. All right, second category, still health related. In telling you about my fitness history, there was a couple consistencies. One, when I'm active, my weight stays the same. When I have a calorie deficit, my weight goes down. When I eat normally, even though it's much healthier these days than it was when I was younger, I'm older. My metabolism is not what it used to be. So when I was young, being active kept me very skinny. I was in the military, being absurdly active kept me very skinny. When that part went away, as I got older, my metabolism has slowly gotten worse and worse and worse. Activity kept me in the same place. When I was not very active or not active at all, my weight went up. I've fixed my diet. It is a million times better than what it used to be. It's fewer calories. I'm eating healthier options, a better balance. But through all of that, my simple calorie intake, if it's high, my weight goes up. If I'm not active, my weight goes up. If I am active, my weight essentially stays the same. But when I diet and am active, that's when my weight goes down. So I need a calorie deficit. I also, though, need energy to perform on Zwift. So I'm not going to try to do it all at once. I'm not doing instant, full-blown diet. My target is a 400 calorie deficit. My base, right about 2,000, which is supposed to be a normal diet. It's not higher than what it's supposed to be, but my metabolism is lower than what it needs to be. So I need to have less than that to be sustained at the same weight without all the exercise. Well, anyway, my target is a 100 calorie deficit for now. My base is actually about a 71 to 72, but I rounded that down to a 70, a good resting heart rate for somebody who is very active, very fit, is 60. 71 is not that bad. It does show that I play soccer on a fairly regular basis. It does show that even though I'm not used to the rigors of Zwift, it does show that I spend 1 to 2 hours a week on a simple stationary trainer. But the other two, sleep and stress. My targets, not perfection. I'd like to get 9 hours of sleep. That's normal for a lot of people. I haven't had 9 hours of sleep since I was 6 years old. That one's actually a little ambitious for me. My average these days, 7 to 7.5 hours. This week was not good. Not because I didn't try, but maybe I was a little restless from the activity. Maybe it was some of the stress that I was carrying earlier in the week. And I'll get to that one in a second, but my average this week has been 6.5 hours. Last one of that category is stress. I am a person who's never had much of a problem looking inside, at least not as an adult. Looking inside and being honest with myself. Knowing when something's off. Hence the start of this series, to be honest with you. I can fairly recognize my own stress. I can evaluate that. Now, my base was a 6, and I was carrying a bit of stress. Without going into details, that's not an episode for today. 2020 has been a hard year. Going into 2021 has been slightly better so far. There's been hope, there's been optimism, but there's still challenges out there. I can handle that amount of stress, but it does weigh you down a little bit. So my target is a 9 out of 10, and I put myself at that base being a 6 out of 10. But this week, at the end of this week, 7, solid 7. 3 quick reasons. 1, I'm making progress. Yay! 2, having to do with the business, the daycare. I had a couple challenges that I overcame in the middle of this week. Things that I got done. Check things off your list. Does amazing things for your stress level. And 3, I broke 2,000 this week. Subs. That made me feel happy. Thank you if you're one of those 2,000. If you're not, there's that red button down below. You can join the group. All right, so in that category, that's the bulk of my points that I have right now. That's 119 calories, 0.25 per. So I get 1 point for every 4 calories, so that adds up to 100. Resting heart rate, 5 points each for each beat per minute as I get down towards 60. Right now, I'm below 0, so I haven't accumulated any points there yet. Sleep, 5 points for every half hour of sleep I get. All right, so final category, and this one's easy. Master the game. Master Zwift. Only 3 things that I'm tracking on that. 1, what level I am. There's 50 levels. I started at the base. I have 2 levels now. 2 points for each level. Achievements. Currently, there are 76 achievements in game. I picked up 5 of those this week. I'll get a few more easy ones in the next couple of weeks. And then, of course, I'm sure they're going to get harder. That's how most games work anyway. And the final is watts per kilogram. 1.63 is my baseline now. Technically, the baseline was 0 because I had no numbers. I hadn't been in Zwift. So from 0, the range, my target, very good, is a 4.5. So that's my target there. I'm going to get 2 points for every 10th of a point on that watts per kilogram. So at 1.6, that's 32 points earned this time around. A first week score of 177. Not a bad start. It's a good start, I think. Of course, I have some health, and that was a lot of those points. The other stuff is going to build up over time, but it's something.
All right, folks, 530th out of 1,056 in the short little group. It's 50%. Of course, many aren't even trying. I just ride it casually, so not good. But the first one of those I did, that hill climb, I was like 99th out of 105. That was bad. So progress. Heart rate coming down just a little. Very high. Been averaging 130, I think, most of the day. 140, 150. And near that 2 watts per kilogram quite often, actually. So I am riding better. As tired as I am at this moment, I'm having a good day. Having a good week. Feeling it. Oh, I feel it. But hanging in there and making progress. And for now, all I can ask. Hope you like the information and appreciate you stopping by, joining me for the journey. If you have a journey of your own, good luck. Keep at it. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Appreciate you being here. Be sure to hit that like button. I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful week, everybody. Bye for now.